I'm Dr. Charles Price, the founder and director of the Institute for Better Bone Health, and calcium is in the news today. That's because of a report in the British Medical Journal that just came out. There are 2 scientific articles and an editorial that clearly show that increased calcium intake does not improve bone mineral density or decrease the risk of fracture after the age of 50. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, but it does not come as a surprise to us. The Institute for Better Bone Health has had this on our website for several years. In fact, the first paper in our discussion of calcium reports poor correlation between calcium intake and fracture risk. That's because nutrients are not soloists, they are ensemble players, as stated by Robert P. Heaney, a noted nutritionist several years ago. Vitamin D and calcium are both important. You can't look at calcium alone, and you don't want to overdo the calcium. Vitamin D increases the intestinal absorption of calcium. The current emphasis for bone health is more on vitamin D than on calcium, and higher doses of vitamin D are preferred, around 800 international units to 1,000 international units per day. Now, vitamin K is important. Recent studies have shown that vitamin K and vitamin D together increase bone strength more than either alone. So these things are important. It's not just about calcium. That's the message. And too much calcium is not healthy. That's because 2 parts are needed for bone health. You need collagen protein so the bones can bend without breaking. This collagen, which is the support structure of bone, gives bone its flexibility and toughness. And we also need some calcium to build the bone. Let me show you this video that I made a couple of years ago. You've all broken a wishbone, so you know what the brittle wishbones are like. But let's look at what the other parts are.
I like to demonstrate with 2 wishbones. One wishbone has had its calcium removed by a chemical process, but the collagen remains. You can see that the collagen framework is very flexible and won't break from bending. The other wishbone has dried, but has all its calcium. Drying really means that the collagen protein has deteriorated and lost its resilience, even though all of the calcium remains. Healthy bone needs both parts to be as strong as possible.
Now, the British Medical Journal also said that calcium is vital to many biological processes, so you can't ignore your calcium. Serum concentration is tightly regulated. The National Institutes of Health recommends a daily allowance of 1,200 milligrams from diet and supplements. Now, most women are only getting about half of that, and men about 3/4 from their diet. The calcium recommendation in the Harvard HEALTHbeat in June 2012 was the same, 1,200 milligrams per day total, and this would amount to about 2 dairy servings of milk, cheese, or yogurt, and a 500 milligram supplement, and that's what we recommend. But even the National Osteoporosis Foundation has said we have known for a long time that calcium and vitamin D are critical, but are not enough alone to prevent fractures. That's why we at the Institute for Better Bone Health developed the Silical system, which has 9 ingredients to support bone health. Bone strength depends on your lifestyle. You need to stop smoking if you're smoking. It depends on impact exercises and nutrition. The best way to get nutrition is through a healthy foods, but if you're not getting adequate diet, which most of us are not, then a supplement may be worthwhile for you. Thank you. This message was brought to you by the Institute for Better Bone Health.